Hi, I'm Chloe.
I'm Evita.
And I'm Ellery.
And we're from the Santa Barbara Middle School Team Press. And today we're here with
Cassie Childs.
Nice to see you.
Nice to see you.
Okay, we understand that you have a PhD in Old English literature. What motivated you to become an expert in that particular area?
Wow, that's a really good question. I lived in England for a year, and I took a really small class in a professor's office. So there was only 6 of us, and it was on Jane Austen. And it was the first time that I had ever really been introduced to studying that academically, and I just fell in love because I was in London and I was reading Jane Austen, who's from England, and that just kind of set me off wanting to do that. That was when I was a junior in undergrad. So yeah.
And what drove your curiosity about women authors, travel writing, and food studies?
You guys know so much about me. No, okay, so mainly because those are all things that I'm interested in is the simple answer. I love traveling, I love food, and as a woman, I read a lot of female literature or women-written narratives, and I just wanted to explore that more, and I feel like nobody talks about the 18th century. We think oh, they're so different than we are. That's the olden times, but really we have a lot in common, and so I was looking at recipe books and where they were traveling to, and I just felt like I wanted to know more and see what we had in common, really. Yeah.
Thank you.
We recently learned that you lived in northern Spain for several years. How did that trip change your cultural perspective and broaden your horizons?
Oh, a lot. More than I could probably explain right now. I lived in the Basque Country in northern Spain, and the way of living in Spain is just completely different than the United States. Stores are open at different times of day. They eat at different times than we do. So they eat dinner really, really late, at 10 p.m. And if you eat before that, it's considered really early. And, here where it's wow, it's 5 o'clock, we got to eat. And I traveled a ton. So I learned about, new ways of living, just a little bit more of a relaxed pace of life in Spain. They do really take siestas and take a break in the middle of the day. And they are really motivated to go outside and walk and be with friends and family outside. And I traveled a lot, and so I explored all over Europe with my kids. So we got to eat lots of different foods and meet different people and learn different languages. It was a really, really cool experience. I could talk about it forever.
Thank you.
Oh, we understand that you love being outdoors and exploring new places. How has this impacted you as a person, and what are your favorite places you've been to?
Ooh, especially with kids. I have 3 kids. I really like being outside with them. So anything from the beach, which is probably my go-to. If everyone's going crazy in the house, we're let's go to the beach and run around. But we also, as a family, like to do a lot of hiking, and so I call it hiking, easier walks with the little ones. I don't know, I just feel like you feel so much better when you're outside, right? If you are in a bad mood and you go out even for a little bit, I feel like it makes such a difference. So we tend to, like I said, the beach, we go for hikes, we like bike riding. I like going on hikes and being outside, and I'll even do things like go outside to do yoga or something like that. So anything that can take me outside. I try to instill that in my kids also, so that they kind of learn to be. And we live in Santa Barbara, you can be outside basically all the time.
Thank you.
We know that you love to read. What have been your favorite books ever, and how do you think the authors have made the world a better place through their writing? And if so, how have they done so?
Oh my gosh, that's such a difficult question for a librarian and a person who studies English. Okay, favorite books ever? I really have probably been the most impacted by Toni Morrison. I don't know if you've ever read anything by her, but Beloved was probably the book that changed me in terms of really wanting to become an English major and to do more reading and studying of books in a deeper way. So I'd say Toni Morrison and Jane Austen. Again, I know I kind of talked about her before, but that was really my way into graduate school. And I would say that I don't know that there's a specific author that I'm this is how they change things. I think it's really dependent on who the person is. I think anybody who can give us a different worldview, or we can learn how to be empathetic to different types of characters and people, and if that resonates with you, then I think that author has made a difference. So, yeah.
Thank you, Cassie.
You're the first librarian at SPMS in a while. How do you hope to create a stronger community through the library and love for books?
Oh, I've been trying to do this in ways where I really tried to create a space that we could get students coming into. So even just beyond books, so like puzzles and coloring and bringing comfortable seating in, like I just want people to be in here first of all. So that's my first step. And then the second thing I've tried to do is to get books from students' recommendations. So a lot of people have come up to me and said, hey, do you have this in the library, or you're missing this book in this series? And so I've tried to bring in a lot of books and buy a lot of books that students really want to be reading and that they're asking me about. And then I think the third way, behind you as an example, is to like really highlight different types of books that maybe students are not initially drawn to, but like so Hispanic Heritage Month or celebrating Black History Month, or even like our biography section, like pulling stuff out from more diverse authors. And really we're building up like our LGBTQ section, our graphic novels, and just trying to find something that everybody really wants to read, and no matter what your interest is. But really, I just want people to come in. Like, even if you're just hanging out and not reading, that's my first goal this year.
Thank you for talking with us. Thank you for doing the interview.
Those were really hard questions. I hope I answered them okay.
Yeah.